Hello, hello. Pardon me. I did not mean for that to be the way it was. I really wish I could do something about that light. It's just gonna stay that way though, at least for the time being. Um, Yesterday was a fairly great success. We had a huge drawdown, huge move that gave us our final take profit, which I'm thankful for. I'm very, very thankful for. And because of that, now we're on to today's trading scheme. Looks like we've been roughly consolidating, but that will more than likely have changed quite greatly. There's the big old move down, consolidate, move up, consolidate. Yeah. Let's go ahead and erase this and set up for today, shall we? I'll save the update for stream. There's a big old update coming up. If you guys are interested in checking that out, I strongly advise going to my Orbs Vault channel and waiting Friday. Friday, I will be streaming, and there will be a big bad update that I've tried avoiding, but clearly it just all my efforts were in vain. So now I have to give an update. I need to see big bad move up. Looking for value gap. I think the current direction is going to be down. Why do I think that? One, we had a fair value gap way over here. It created highs. Highs were retested, the exact same ones. It went lower. Yesterday, news hit and swept these highs, created a new one. Sure, you could argue that it barely closed above it. at the same time, I see it as a sweep. It swept those highs intentionally to continue lower. Price clearly doesn't know what it wants to do. Otherwise, it would have picked a direction and continued in that direction. Yesterday's news proved that. It continued up, hit the same high level, and then proceeded to continue down and hit the low liquidity spots, swept the highs and lows in one move, creating more of a consolidation pattern right here than a defined up or down direction. Why do I say down? Because it swept the highs first. The highs came first and were swept. Swept 3, swept 4, swept 5 times. Volume has been building across this line for a decent little while now, right? And because of it, we're looking at price, looking for new discovery, potentially revisiting older price levels, older balance areas that it's more comfortable sitting in. It's not going to go higher. That much is definite. Lower is a very low probability as well, but it's greater than that of higher. Because of the amount of volume down below, it could still sweep alongside the liquidity. It's there, it's present, it could sweep it. Really big move on the horizon is what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking is going to happen. Now, with that being said, we're currently in consolidation, which means we can only play small at this time. We can only play really, really small. Looking at and for our setups, okay, we're looking for a fair value gap to work off of to really gauge what price is going to do. Right now, the only real fair value gap that we've got is right here. Okay, this is our fair value gap. We have created a low here. Has not been retested, and the high here has been created and has been retested. Same story from before. The high is constantly being tested, but not crossed. This gives me the impression that price will either sweep the highs first, like it did yesterday, and continue lower, or it'll create a fair value gap high, and that high fair value gap will then give us the opportunity for a test of the lows. Once those lows have been tested, and we verified that, hey, yeah, they aren't going lower, it'll continue higher. That is the only instance where we can say, okay, we'll enter in on a long position. Otherwise, right now, based on the fair value gap that's present along with the chart data as well as the volume profile, all the volume has suggested that we're going to stay high. But because there is such an imbalance below us, we really need to sweep our highs to continue lower. That is the essential goal of price at the moment. That, combined with the volume profile here alongside the MACD, the SMA being far above the EMA, matching chart, and saying that we are on retrace from a giant move up is also true. We are currently trying to test whether or not we're going to go lower. If we can continue to test these lows and price proceeds to sweep these highs, stopping immediately, closing immediately around this level, and we see that fair value gap form, and then as a result on market open, which would make the most sense for volume to come in, push this even further up, and move further down as a result of this retrace, and the SMA price level crossing below the EMA, we'll see that move down again. Before we can make that move, before we make that play, we have to see the lows tested. We have to see the lows failed, and then they close below and keep going, right? For the strategy, sorry, I woke up like 3 minutes ago, not even. Per the strategy, we're looking for highs to get tested because we're moving up, and we're looking for it to go down, which means highs have to keep failing. And then we have to eventually see price break below a low, retest a low, and keep going. That's how that works. Let's take a look at news. Take a look at news real quick. See what news is going on. Bum. We have one red folder. 1. Unemployment claims. We have 231 for previous, 222 for forecasts. The actual is less than forecast is good for currency. So if this number is lesser, we should see price rise. Makes sense? I've been saying that backwards this whole time because typically with the other red folders that are high impact, we see a lot of instances where price will actually be higher and the actual will be greater than that of forecast, and it'll continue lower, making things a little more yeesh, right? Not very good. So, yeah, that's currently what I'm doing. Currently, what I'm looking at so far. Usually on the first Thursday after week ends. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna be good. We're gold. Okay. Just gotta wait for this to do its thing. We'll see it happen. I've set up all that I can for now. I don't want to push my luck and attempt to predict something that's 2 hours away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video now. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video. And when we get back, we'll either see a fair value gap that's more up to date than the one that's currently displayed on the screen. And from there, we'll continue onward with finding highs tested, lows tested, whole 9 yards. It's really to determine where market's going to go. And, yeah, we'll be on the hunt for an entry. BRB. Alrighty. It looks like we're going to have a soon-to-be set up. Waiting on that fair value gap to that one candle to close. It could present us with a fair value gap. I want to see what happens as it nears its end. We've got about 45 minutes, pardon me, before that candle closes. So when we get around the 5-minute, 6-minute mark, I'm going to unpause the video and we're going to examine exactly what happened with this candle and where price might want to go as a result of it forming. In the event it decides to give us the new fair value gap that we've been after for a minute, that'll be the start of my setup. We'll have a fair value gap in the high time frame, and from it, we'll be looking for a high to be made, retested, failed, and for price to ultimately continue lower. On the failure, we'll be entering, and then from there, we'll ride out the rest of the move. Something I picked up from the last video, I played on the 5-minute time frame. I entered on the 5-minute, I exited on the 5-minute, whole 9 yards. It was a fairly quick victory on that 5-minute. What I think I'm going to do from this point forward is, while on the 5-minute, I'm going to target the lowest low, in this case, it being in the downtrend mall. The lowest low on the 5-minute, I'm going to call that my final take profit. So, for instance, say we enter, right? Let's say we enter here, right? I'm going to be looking for the lowest low within the session, and then one more low from previous session. Take this, first target would be here, second target would be here, and I won't be targeting anything else, right? At all. This is my setup. It's a 1 to 6. Cool. My stop loss would be not the point of control because price could easily rebound to it. I think it'd be roughly above these highs, giving us less of a 1 to 6 and more of a 1 to 4, which is the appropriate amount of risk reward ratio that we need to validate trade. I guess it's not a greedy trade. It's not a underestimated trade. It's an average trade. And because it's on the 5-minute, we know that price, if it does reach that low, will actually benefit us more than if we were to try and play it from the high time frame and go for a low that's months ago, right? It's just unrealistic if we tried to do that. So we're going to stick on the 5-minute for when the risk to reward pops up, as well as the entry and exit of trade via the MACD and the volume profile. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because we're not entering here legitimately. And yeah, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to wait for the hour candle to close, this one here, and we'll see exactly if we have a setup for us today. If we do, yay. If not, I will. Be right back. Alright, quick update. News just hit. As you can see, the actual was greater than forecast, which means bad for currency, or in the case of looking at the chart, price is going to go up. How far up? Enough to sweep these highs, however, we still got to get past yesterday's high, so we'll go ahead and continue to keep an eye on this. It sweeping past the highs gives us plenty of cause to look at this as a fair value gap. We want to see the next candle that opens up creates a low, and based on that low, it's got to, on the lower time frame, because this will have been a fair value gap at that point, it'll create a second low. Testing this, failing, it'll continue higher based on that, or it'll fail after testing a high, and we'll see it continue lower. Those are the only two options we've got, and until that time comes, video is going to remain paused. So, BRB, I'll be watching. Yeah. Alright, so, market's open. Waiting for shifts to happen. What I think is going to happen, same thing we were looking for before. The fair value gap of sorts on the high time frame. I marked this one here thinking, you know what? If it's not going to present it on the low time frame, or the high time frame, let's go to the low time frame market and work off of that. But, opening says otherwise. So, I'm going to wait for the fair value gap on the high time frame. Does that mean we got to wait 30 minutes? Yeah, kinda. At the same time, might be a short wait. Might be. If it breaks structure and continues higher, proceeds to test this high up here, but fails to break it, and instead continues lower, my takeaway from today's trading event is that if we don't see a fair value gap, a clear indication that price is in imbalance and continuing, then go to the low time frame, look for a fair value gap, and from that, work off of that fair value gap, the nearest fair value gap, and set up from there, and then continue with its direction. Play small, obviously, but in the event the high time frame doesn't present something that gives us something to work with, make do with the lesser. We got 238 until this candle closes. push beyond. But if it closes below that high, I'm inclined to think it will continue lower. Okay. I am going to BRB. Okay, so we are back. Pardon me for the delay. It is now 9:53, so not too much time has passed on the hour. Still all over the place. It's reached as far as up here, as low as down there, right? It's broken past both of these, but it has yet to close. It shows me very indecisive market action. Let's go to the 5 minutes, see what's happening. 5 minute is a little bit more indecisive. It actually clears up the picture for us just a smidge. Opening candle closed high, broke above the highs, or at least this high here. It closed above, and then proceeded to reach higher in an attempt to close above, and then failed, and then continued lower. Still didn't give us a fair value gap. No fair value gap there, none there. On this candle's closure, we might see a fair value gap. Oh wait, no, we won't, because it reached up to there. It's not giving us much room to trade. Honestly, we might be better off waiting for this candle as a whole to close. We got 6 minutes, a little less than 6 minutes for it to close. It could honestly wind up being that we just don't take a trade today because there is nothing about our setup presenting itself. The MACD says we're in retrace from this point forward, and the volume profile is essentially saying, hey, there's a lot of volume down low, and there's room for price discovery up high, but we don't know if price discovery high is what we're wanting to do. So we might continue lower, but we're not entirely sure that's a good idea either, because in both instances we've been in, and in both instances we find that it's not worth going to either, at least not at this time. So we could see consolidation throughout 10:30, and if we do, that's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that we just don't take a trade. Looking at this, we have a closure down low, which is going to bring it down there, but it has not cleared this candle's range yet, making less of an opportunity for us to see a fair value gap in any of this. We might not take a trade today. We might not. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to pause the video, wait and see what happens, but ultimately I'm just going to wait because I'm not seeing anything saying, hey, we're going up, hey, we're going down. It's just not giving it to us. Hour is pretty much a straight line with the exception of opening, and even opening, we're breaking below the EMA. Yeah, I'm going to pause. I'll be right back. Okay, quick update. Let's go ahead and just run through this real quick. There is no fair value gap. Has not presented one, isn't going to present one. I'm looking at consolidation throughout this. The most recent fair value gap is right here. This one could be counted, but there's a problem. It was closed beyond and it failed this low here, so it just continued lower. We could have entered within this range here, but I didn't want to because we were literally, this closure happened at the point of control, which tells me price has found its balance area again after this move down. It was never an imbalance, although it did clean up some of this imbalance right here on the volume profile. The next available fair value gap is right here, and it's literally right where price is sitting. So we can't enter based on that absence of fair value gap. And even if we were to consider looking for a fair value gap, literally between our window, open and close, of time to trade, there was not a single fair value gap in any of this. This is all completely balanced. It's a justified move down. I can't work with it. So, this being the case, I am opting now to not trade today. It was an eventful look-see, let's see what we could do, but ultimately, I can't take a trade today. So, thank you guys for watching this video. I know it was uneventful. Maybe tomorrow we'll catch a fish. Maybe we won't. We'll see. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I think today is Thursday. Is today Thursday? Let's see if today's Thursday. Today is Thursday. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. I'm going to get back to editing this video. It'll be posted 4 p.m. Friday along with some shorts after which. Stay tuned because I'll be streaming for 8 hours Friday and I will have an update at the end of that stream. You guys need to stay tuned all the way to the end of the stream and you'll see the update. It might actually be at the start. I'm not entirely sure right now. I'm thinking we'll start off with something chill like, I don't know, Minecraft or something. Maybe. I don't know. I gotta see about what I want to play for tomorrow's stream. But stay tuned for that. Consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed today's video, or if you're new on the comeback and you think, hey, these notes are worth taking. It's entirely up to you. Comment below what your favorite part of the video was. I get we didn't take a trade. I get we didn't win. I get we didn't lose. All 9 yards. No biggie on that front. I literally did everything I could to identify a trade, and there was no point of entry for me, so I'm not taking a trade today. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.